So my name is Zachary Adair, and for this week's book talk and multiple intelligence book, I chose for the multiple intelligence I chose an intrapersonal book, When Sophie Gets Angry, really angry, and it's by Molly Bang. And then for my book talk book, I did Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, and it is by Patty Lavelle. So I'll start out with the multiple intelligence book, and it is an intrapersonal self versus self book. The reading interest for this book is going to be from anywhere from pre-K to second grade, and the Lexile is AD 560L. The genre is fiction, although I think that could be a little bit arguable, as I think some of the things in this book and most of the things is realistic fiction, and can happen in real life. And it is a book by Scholastics. So I'll go ahead and start and tell a little bit about the book. When Sophie gets angry, really angry. Sophie was busy playing when her sister grabbed a gorilla. "No," said Sophie. "Yes," said her mother. "It is her turn now, Sophie." As her sister snatched gorilla away, Sophie fell over the truck. So she fell over the truck and probably hurt herself. Oh, is Sophie ever angry now? And it shows a picture of her showing her mad face here and being pretty angry. So she starts to throw a tantrum, and it says here she kicks, she screams, she wants to smash the world to smithereens. And there's a lot of hyperbole in these book. The first one here is smash. Kind of like somewhat of what maybe a comic book would be. The illustrations and different things in the book. She roars a red roar, and it shows another hyperbole here and demonstrating her loud roar and how meaningful it is. Sophie is a volcano ready to explode. And this is the first use of figurative language here. This metaphor is comparing Sophie to a volcano ready to explode. And bam, she runs. She runs and runs and runs until she can't run anymore. Then for a little while she cries. So she's dealing with herself here. She's coping with her intrapersonal mind. She went from angry and now she's getting depressed. She's crying. She didn't get her way, so she ran outside and ran off. And now she sees the rocks, the trees, and the ferns. She hears a bird. So she's hearing different sounds outside from natural perspective. She comes to the old beech tree. She climbs. She feels the breeze blow her hair. She watches the water and the waves. The wide world comforts her. So it's showing herself in a natural perspective here, that where the waves will calm her and she's outside at night, what looks to be at night, and she is hearing all these sounds and it's comforting her. Sophie feels better now. She climbs back down the tree. So this is the falling action here. And heads for home. She heads back home. And then when she arrives to the home, the house is warm and smells good. So she's using the author uses different senses here that makes the reader feel different ways and have different perspectives here. Everyone is glad she's home. everything's back together again. So she comes home and looks to be her whole family is piecing a puzzle together and learning how to play together and do things as a team and communicate better instead of throwing a tantrum and in that matter. And Sophie isn't angry no more. So here it looks like she's painting a picture of what she saw when she ran off, regardless of how mad she used to be. So this is a very, very neat little book when Sophie gets angry, really, really angry. And actually, as you can see, it has 2 award winners here. One is going to be the Caldecott Honor winner, and the other is the Charlotte Zolotow Award. So there are 2 very honorable mentions here and awards given to this book by Molly Bang. And this book would be great to have an open class discussion about and really let the kids reflect on things that have happened in their past, and really maybe it may affect their behavior in class, or what something they're going through. They may have a mixed emotions about the book and make them feel different feelings throughout the book. So I would use this book in my class for that reason, for maybe an open discussion for the class. And I'll show the book that goes along with it when I got the book, by Scholastics. This is a teaching voice. The teacher's worksheets and some different things in this book that shows and can really discuss with the students or kids in your class about different qualities. Here it says key qualities of the voice trait, so it explains what is going on in the book. What does Sophie use? What kind of expression, powerful words does she use in the book? So the student may choose different words in the book that really express how she feels, or how she is not feeling, and maybe how she feels when she runs away out in the nature. So this would be a good book to use. Maybe make some copies and have students make inferences on what they see in the book and what they noticed, what's going on. So this is another neat little piece here by Scholastics. And for my book talk book, I chose Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon by Patty Lavelle, and it's illustrated by David Catron. So the reading interest for this book is going to be kindergarten through 2nd grade. The lexile is going to be AD 560L. The genre on this is definitely fictional. Without a doubt, it is a fictional book, and this is also a book by Scholastics. So I'll get started with this book, and I'll try to narrate it the way that the author intended it to be here, by Molly Lou Mellon. And it's a book between the main character here, Molly Lou, and her grandmother. So I'll start out here, and the illustrations are very, very well painted or drawn out here. Molly Lou Mellon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the 1st grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proud as you can, and the world will look up to you." So she did. Molly Lou Mellon had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big, and the world will smile right alongside you." So she did. She smiled very big here. Molly Lou Mellon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind, her grandma had told her. Sing out clear and strong and the world will cry tears of joy. So she did. Molly Lou Mellon was often fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too. So she did. Then Molly Lou Mellon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. And start in a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Mellon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, wow, she's good, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Oh, the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Mellon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled, as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, you sound like a sick duck, honk honk. Molly Lou Mellon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Mellon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. That night, Molly Lou Mellon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Mellon. So this book was a really interesting book. And it was told it could probably be another multiple intelligence book about the conflicts that she goes to from person to another person, and then that Molly Lou and her grandma, they're very well connected, and the grandmother is being a role model to Molly Lou, giving her advice, and this causes her to develop different characteristics of perseverance and kindness, and then it, she really, defends for herself and perseveres and gets what she wants in the end. So I would recommend this book, and I would definitely use it in my classroom. And it's a very fun book to read, even for a read aloud. I think it would be a great book in another class discussion on how Molly Lou Mellon, the main character, reacted when the different characters in the book, Ronald Durkin, interfered and the conflict arose between the two. But she remembered what her grandmother had said, and she stuck with it. And in the end, it showed a really good, letter, really neat, kind letter that she sent back to her grandmother, thanking her for, everything that she had told her, and that she, her classes was going very well, and her school was going very well. So this concludes my video of the multiple intelligence book, When Sophie Gets Angry, Really, Really Angry, and Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. They're both very great books, and I would recommend any teacher to use it in their classroom, or children who really haven't even learned to read and are beginning to read.